Hello, welcome back to Topic Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm James Pellington. I'm here to give my thoughts on Everton's fortuitous, shall we say, win over Doncaster Rovers in the Carabao Cup last night. A game which was a bit of a roller coaster, a bit of a nightmare, but I think we all came out feeling, certainly in the immediate aftermath of the game, feeling pretty positive, down to obviously Beto coming on, scoring and looking really quite good. But that was hard work for at least 60-65 minutes. It was really, really bad to watch. And yeah, we'll obviously get into why that was now. But obviously he started the team. I think he went Pickford in goal. Patterson played right back, who had a bad start to the season. That carried on last night. He changed the centre-back pairing, which I never understand. I remember when Benitez came in and we played QPR away in the cup. Some people remember. I think Townsend, Dean and Townsend scored. I think, and we went out on pens. Centre-back pairing that day was Godfrey and Holgate. And okay, Holgate's not there now. It was Keane. I actually thought it was Keane when I was thinking about it in my head. I was thinking, who played centre-back that day? But that was another case of where he changed the centre-back pairing and he's picked a pair which just don't work together. Two players who've got no confidence. One player hasn't played at all this season, so he's not match sharp. Another player's already been bombed out of the team 3 games into the season, and he's paired them together. No confidence, no leadership, nothing. Shocking from the manager, in my opinion, to completely wipe out the back two like that, and then obviously bring Mikalenko in, who, same as Godfrey, hasn't played this season, and obviously had to go off injured again. He was also quite poor, I thought, but I think having that centre-back pairing was the kind of catalyst for why it was so poor yesterday, because the ball goes back to them, they both panic, they don't want it, they don't help win the ball back or get the team back up the pitch. I thought they were both really poor, and that was kind of setting the tone. Decore, Onana and James Garner played in midfield. I think Onana was the only one who looked like a semi-capable footballer for most of the night, and the front three, Lewis Dobbin was terrible, Danjuma was really bad for most of the game, and Schmidt didn't get a sniff, and when he did, other than a nice pass over to Onana for a shot late in the first half, everything kind of bounced off him. Felt a bit sorry for him, to be honest. So I felt the team selection, on paper I didn't mind it too much, but that centre-back pairing I was never going to be happy with, and so I turned out. And yeah, we started the game poorly. Doncaster were coming on to us, using the atmosphere a little bit. It's one of them, isn't it, where it's a League 2 team and like they're getting across into the box and it was like, oh, this is a big chance, a big thing, and we just headed away quite normally. But because they're a League 2 team, not just a League 2 team, the bottom of League 2, they're absolutely pony. But whenever they got the ball anywhere near our goal, it was like, oh, this is a big moment, and you feel that pressure, because it shouldn't happen against a League 2 team. You should have 70-75% of the ball. Whenever they get the ball, they shouldn't get anywhere near your 18-yard box, and they were doing that last night. And again, obviously they're not going to cut us open and tear us to shreds like Villa did the other week. It's going to be a case of, if they get a ball into the box, that's almost seen as like not a good chance. But I remember when Bradford got to the League Cup final a few years ago, so they were in League 2, and they won a corner in the final, and it was like they celebrated like a goal, because for a League 2 team to be able to do that, I know football's not that simple, but we just lacked so much confidence and we had nothing going the other end. And then in the end they scored. It was offside. It's this nonsense rule of, we'll have VAR, I'm sure, in the Premier League stadiums, but not in these stadiums. It makes no sense because the goal shouldn't have counted. But no one was bothered. No one was even arguing about the fact it was offside, because it was coming. We Staying didn't deserve to be leading, and I think when you don't deserve to be leading against a League 2 team by half time, you probably do deserve to be a goal down. That's what happened. We went a goal down. It was really bad, and I think that first half was one of the worst I've ever seen from an Everton team, if not the worst, because I think the thing I hated the most was like we got in so easily with Danjuma and with Onana down both sides. Should have scored turn at the first chance. It was just a 1-2. That's all we had to do to get in up against them, was do a nice 1-2, and we were through on goal. Like, it was, with all due respect, that's what happens when you play against a team who are in League 2 at the foot of it as well. They're in the basement of the Football League, 92 out of 92. And it's like, that's all we had to do, but we couldn't do it because there was no confidence in the team. The team was just feeling like they were giving up. The attitude of some of the players out there was shocking. You can just tell, as far as I'm saying, the whole back four had no confidence. Didn't feel Garner played very well at all. Decore, things are bouncing off him. Same with Schmidt. Dobbin was awful. For someone who's coming into the team and getting a big chance, he was rightfully hooked at half time. Obviously, he's not ready for this kind of level of responsibility starting back-to-back games for Everton. He shouldn't need to do that. But I think before the season started, if you said to me, well, Lewis Dobbin's going to start a game against a League 2 team in the League Cup, I would have said, yeah, cool, he should be able to do that. He played in League 1 last season, so and did fine. He's probably an upper League 1, lower Championship quality player, so he should have been able to handle that last night, and he was really bad. He was hooked, Patterson was hooked, and Schmidt was hooked at half-time. Couldn't take anything of them off other than Onana, and obviously the goalie. They were all bad, so it made no difference really. But those three came off. Young came on, he had some responsibility. Played further up the pitch on the right wing, onto left wing, back to right wing, back to left back. But he did fine. Just a game made a big difference. He should have started the game as well. When you're playing against a team like that, you need someone who's just going to win the ball back. Just stop at its source, shut out any little confidence makers that they have in the team. Just stop that at source and just forget about it. He should have played, as far as I'm concerned. And then Beto came on, who straight away, I texted my mate and I was like, I've watched him for 8 seconds here and I can already tell he's better than 90% of the strikers we've had in the last 10 years. Obviously a bit tongue-in-cheek, but no, he looked good and he ran in behind, still at 1-0. Oh, sorry, I should mention, they should have had a penalty, but their goal was also offside. So, if that had been given, I'd been really annoyed, but goes down the right, ball definitely does not go out, he swings it in, Decoy's about to tap it in, and because there is no VAR, he raises the flag, Decoy doesn't shoot. Another major issue there, but he did well there to get in down the side, play the ball in, look nice, and then with about 15 minutes to go, he gives us the lead. Ball over from Decoy, really nice pass, and then the speed of Beto was frightening there. Long legs, obviously he's not running with the ball, and he's just gonna outpace most centre backs in that position, so long as the ball's in behind and he's chasing after it. And then a lovely finish. So when I saw it, I thought he was gonna try and square it to Danjuma, but to have the confidence to hit it first time, right foot, sort of flick it outside his boot and find the net, it was just great to see. And I went through a list of strikers we've had since the summer we got Lukaku. And just before Lukaku came in, we got Kone. The January after, we got Lucien Traore. And then you're looking at Eto, Niasse, Toshin, Maupay, obviously, Calvert-Lewin, Rooney, technically, I suppose, Leandro Rodriguez. I counted about 12, I think. And I don't think any of them of Calvert-Lewin got double digits for us. It's been awful, this striker search. We've been on Salman Rondon, another one. It's just been absolutely abysmal. So to see someone come in and do that, yeah, we all got a bit excited, and then not long later the ball comes in from Garner from the right, who played better at right back than in centre mid. I think he could well end up playing there for part of this season, because Patterson, as I say, is not in a good way form wise. Great ball in from Garner, and then Beto, crashing header, hits the post. It looked like he was in all the way, smacked off the post, and they scrambled it clear. But he just gave us a much different option. As I say, I felt a bit bad for Schmidt because he's not going to have that confidence. He's a young lad and he's only just coming into first team football. And now we've got Beto. That's great for him, because not only is he a Portuguese fella and they can obviously have that kind of connection there, but it just takes a lot of pressure off him. So I think he will be fine, hopefully. But this will help him. Comes crashing off the post, don't score there. Ash Young that hits the bar, said he was good after he came on as well. Bringing that maturity and that leadership on is really important, because I think we lacked that in the first half. Onana was the only leader out there, whereas Gay comes on, Young comes on. Even better, I know he's only been here a couple of days, but you can just tell by the way you're looking at him, and he's rousing up the players around and making a difference that way. Hopefully you can have that kind of leadership quality to him as well. Obviously we'll wait and see. And then Maupay comes on, and look, he looked actually fine. Obviously he's against a League Two opposition, but playing off a strike, I've always kind of said that. I think that's anything we haven't tried with him yet, really, and that's probably the only way I can see it working out for him. Look, he's been awful, and it's now gone beyond this, or I feel a bit bad for him, or is he not on the right system and all that. It gets to a point where he's just missing sitters, not playing off simple passes, all these little things. But he did well yesterday, came on, set up Danjuma, nice touch to get him inside, and he fired it in bottom left hand corner, wins us the game. No goal jolts for either him or Beto, which is good. Get a bit of confidence up. And now we're all going into Saturday, especially now with transfer rumours flying around about what's going to happen between now and then, and you're thinking, maybe we will be alright now, because we've got a fella who looks like he can find the back of the net. We were really bad last night for most of the game. No doubt in my mind about that. But we got out of jail, and no one's even thinking about winning the cup, are they? Let's be realistic here. Nobody is. If we got knocked out last night, I don't think anyone would have said rightfully or wrongly, I don't think anyone would have really said, oh, it's another season about a trophy, because I don't think anyone thinks we're going to win this thing. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to, because the big teams, you saw Team Chelsea put out last night, you can name about 3 of them. I don't even know, I think it was, I was trying to think it was captain of someone horrible. It was like Trevor Chalobah or something, I can't remember who. Conor Gallagher maybe, I can't remember. It was someone horrible anyway who was captain. And it's like, you're looking at the kind of attitude these bigger teams have towards these cup competitions. It should be a cup that we go for, and I think a few years ago it was, but now it's just more about, this is a victory more about not getting into the next round. It was more about getting off the mark, getting a first goal, getting a win, easing a bit of pressure. The manager's got a big task on his hands. Don't think he helped himself last night. I think he should have played some of the more experienced players. Shouldn't have messed around with the team too much. Maybe 1 or 2 changes. I think I would have put Mikalenko in at left back. Okay, he was crap, fair enough. I would have put Young in at right back, take Patterson out. I would have played Schmidt or Beto, which he did. I probably would have played Dobbin, and I would have played either Branthwaite or more likely Tarkowski at centre half. And then, as soon as Tarkowski came on, they didn't get anywhere near our goal, really, did they? So I think it's been a really beneficial game for us in the end. Those first 45 minutes were painful, I admit, but we got the job done. We're into the next round playing Villa away, which is going to be a hard game, but I just think, I don't even know when this fixture is, but I think it's at the end of this month or the end of next month, I'm not too sure, but obviously they've got the Europa Conference League, they're going good guns in the league. You're hoping it's going to be a fringe team, hopefully by that point we've got a few points on the board and maybe we can start to dream again, but look, you're not going to hear me talking about winning cups or anything like that for the time being, because it's not that I don't want us to, obviously, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm being realistic there in saying that. If we can get away from the relegation zone, then absolutely, for sure. But while we're in there, the league is 100% the priority, and I'm sure that's probably why he didn't make as many. That's probably why he made as many changes as he did. But I just think when in a situation where we can't risk dropping or resting players, and that's what's happened. So, look, Villa up next in the Cup. Everton up for the Cup, we'll see. But let me know your thoughts on the game down below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Nice one.